Applying for a sponsor license is crucial for any UK-based businesses looking to hire skilled workers from abroad. It not only ensures compliance with legal requirements but also opens up opportunities to bring in diverse and highly skilled talent. Regardless of the size of your company, whether small, medium or large, you must go through the process of applying for a sponsor license, and the cost varies accordingly. For example, small or charitable sponsors, you need to pay £536 for a worker or a temporary worker license. However, if you're a medium or large sponsors, you need to pay around £1,476 for a worker license. Remember, there may be additional costs for each certificate of sponsorship issued and the immigration skills charge. The entire process is online and can be completed independently. However, if you need legal assistance, keep watching this video. I have Amil from Mac25, an immigration firm based in London, to help us understand the steps involved in becoming a licensed sponsor, their prerequisites, pre-license checks, common mistakes to avoid, and much more. But before we dive in, let me introduce myself to those who are new here. My name is Sarika and I have been living in the UK for the past 14 years. Currently, I work as a lead business analyst for one of the world's largest tour operators. In my spare time, I create YouTube videos to help you navigate the global job market and find the perfect study abroad destination. I offer two valuable services that I encourage you to take advantage of. The first is free study abroad assistance service. If you're interested in studying abroad in any of these listed countries, please fill out the form provided in the video description and pin comment. My team will reach out to you to assist you with your study abroad plans. And the second service is paid job assistance service. This is a 3-month coaching and mentoring program designed to make you job ready. It's perfect for those struggling to find a job or secure a visa sponsorship in the UK, Ireland, Germany, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. If you're serious about your career and want to land your dream job, enroll in this service. Remember, it requires a 3-month commitment and hard work where both you and I will be working together to make you job ready. I've also hired mentors who have successfully landed visa sponsorship jobs with the right strategy, and they're planning to help you guys as well. It's also for people who want to start their career in IT and also start their career as a business analyst, where I will be your mentor. If you need a help, fill out the form in the description and my pinned comment, or simply email me at yourknowledgebuddy@gmail.com. Let's make you job ready soon. So without any further delay, let's get started with today's video and invite my special guest Amil from Mac25 Immigration. Hi Amil, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy.
Hi Sarika. Hi everyone watching. Thank you so much for inviting me.
And if you don't mind, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
I've been quite old over here now. So my name is Mohammed Amil. I am a OIC registered immigration lawyer, consultant, and your advisor. I help companies and individuals in making the immigration journey smooth, and I consider to be myself a trusted partner for immigration.
And very important line for me, ex-international student.
I'm an ex-international student as well. Yes, that's how I was introduced in this channel.
Correct. I don't know why you forget that. That is so important for me because I'm supporting students for a very long time.
I know.
I want to show that if you can do this, they can do that as well.
Yeah, if I can do it, you guys can do it too.
Everyone, just make your efforts.
Yes.
Okay, so Amil, thank you for being here again. And today's topic is about sponsor license. So we'll talk about everything from start till the end. Okay. So the first step is how to become a license. If I want to become a licensed sponsor, how do I become a licensed sponsor?
Firstly, this is my favorite subject and topic, so I might speak for long, but yeah. So Sarika, it is very important to understand that being a licensed sponsor comes with a lot of responsibilities and privilege. So in order to become a licensed sponsor, first you need to make sure that you have got genuine requirement for that. If you think that whatever roles you have vacancies for in your company, it could be fulfilled by local labor market, then you don't need to apply for a license. But if you think your company, you want to diversify, you want to have people from different parts of the world, or you've identified, let's say somebody from Germany, you think it would be beneficial for your IT company, or maybe somebody from China who can be good in making desserts, or maybe somebody from India who could be good in medical. So obviously then you need a sponsor license to hire somebody from overseas, and it has a lot of steps. And as you said, you have got a lot of questions, so obviously we'll be discussing about it further.
I got one word which you talked now, which was about have a genuine vacancy. So it's very evident that if a company who's applying for a sponsor license, if they don't have a vacancy, genuine vacancy, they should not apply for it.
Exactly. See, it has been given a lot of guidance by the Home Office itself. There is one guidance for workers and sponsors. Okay, they have specifically mentioned and specified it is prohibited for you as a sponsor to hire somebody for whom you do not have a genuine vacancy in your company. So by that, what I mean, if I'm having an IT company and I don't have a genuine vacancy, let's say for a tester or for somebody from marketing or from sales, though I do need those people in my company, but I do not have a genuine vacancy for them, then I shouldn't be, hiring for that particular role. Yes, if I'm an IT company, I need a developer, I need a tester, you hire for those roles, but you cannot hire, let's say, for a chef in your IT company. So there are a lot of elements tied with that.
So let's take a scenario. I'm a small startup company. I got 2 international students who are on graduate visa who are working for me. So at the moment, there was no need for me to apply for the license because I had local people. When I say local, they had the rights to work in the UK on a PSW. Now their PSW is about to expire and they have been doing a brilliant job with me, and I really want to continue working with them because they helped me grow my company. Now today I feel like, okay, I should be applying for a license so that I can sponsor them. So at the moment they're already working for me, so I don't have an open advertisement for this job. So is that considered as a genuine vacancy in your language?
See, I'll tell you, post 2020 there was something called Resident Labor Market Test, RMLT. Okay, that was mandatory for anyone to apply for a sponsor license or to get a COS. But right now, if you feel, and there are maybe 80 to 90% of the situation exactly the same. I do have a company, I am an owner myself. So if I need somebody who are already working with them and I actually love the skills, they've actually, helped me in expanding my business, then yes, that is a genuine vacancy. So by genuine vacancy, it does not mean you advertise on LinkedIn, you advertise on your website or any social media platforms. If you feel this guy, this girl is working right, or it's all happy-go-lucky situation, then you are able to hire them. That is a genuine vacancy.
Okay. So when I know during our offline conversation, you talked about pre-audits check, pre-license compliance check, right?
Yeah.
So in that pre-license check, what has really happened? Because will they check whether there's a genuine vacancy or not?
Sarika and audience, to be really very honest, nowadays people think that if there is a pre-license audit, it's a pre-license compliance check.
Okay.
If there is a pre-license compliance check by the Home Office, nowadays the clients think maybe my legal representative, my solicitor did not apply the visa in the right way, the license in the right way. But that false. Nowadays the Home Office is being very much authoritative in terms of they want to look very closely why the specific company has applied for a license. Regardless whether you're a startup, whether you're an established firm, regardless of how much ever your money have your account, the Home Office wants to see all the aspect of the company. They want to see whether you have got a genuine vacancy, whether your business is trading, when was your company established, how much do you have in your bank account, how would you be able to generate that kind of income that you could pay to the migrant workers, because obviously after 4th April 2024 the salaries have been like 38,700.
Correct.
So Home Office wants to see, okay, if this is an established company, if you have let's say like 5,000 pounds in your account, how are you going to pay to the migrant? So pre-license compliance check, because I have been involved in like hundreds of them myself. In some I have assisted, in some I was there physically myself, where Home Office either would like to come to your premise to do this pre-license compliance check. One of my client just last week, I hope everything works well for him. It was a brilliant auditing by the Home Office officer. We got contacted by them directly by the Home Office in the evening that they would like to come to the premise and they would like to do the compliance check. And it just happened a couple of days back. It was really good. But 90% of the time I have seen nowadays after COVID, the pre-license audit checks are been happening over Teams meeting. So over Teams meeting, they have to check all sorts of documentations, the pension, robust HR system, as we discussed previously. There are so many things which they want to check, like employment contracts and things like that. So there are 2 stages of pre-license audit, Sarika. And this is very important for people to know. Pre-license audit is not just that Home Office talks to you for like 80 minutes, 90 minutes and it's done. First, the Home Office wants to see what kind of HR system you have, the documentations. Once those documentations they have rectified, they'll give you a date that this is the date where we are going to either come or we are going to, join the Teams meeting. So that is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is good. I want to take a step back and ask you a question. So let's take an example of, say, off-licensed retail store nearby. Yeah. And they want to apply for a license because, say, again, a student is working for them and for 1 year, 2 years, here
Yeah.
and they really like the way they manage the retail shop. Yeah. And they want to apply for a license so that they can keep him for long.
Yeah.
What are the first thing do I do? Do I just go and check, okay, how much balance do I have in my account? Do I have 100K plus or 50K plus because I need to pay him? Do I need to check, okay, what should be the occupation or job code that should be allocated to him?
Yeah.
And then what else should I see? Do I have HR system? Do I have other bits? So talking from a very small startup companies, let's not talk about medium and big size. They have enough legal help, they can afford it. For companies who cannot afford for legal help, what are the few things they should even think and do before they plan to become a licensed sponsor?
So this is a very interesting case. We recently did one off license sponsor license, and the sponsor asked me exactly the same thing. That Amil, I have a company, I have this much account, I have a guy working for me. He's really good. He's on a student visa. He has completed his course. Now either he has got option to switch to post-study work visa or to switch to skilled worker visa, because obviously they get benefit in terms of salary when they hire somebody, students. They don't need to pay the immigration skills charge as sponsor, and obviously they can hire them on a lower salary for the next 4 years. So that is very important. So going back to your question from very scratch, first thing they need to see if they have got a genuine vacancy. You cannot ask that particular guy or girl that they need to work as a driver, as a receptionist, as a cleaner, if that job is very low skill. That's thing number one. You need to make sure it's a skilled job. So now after the new rule change, you can keep somebody as a shopkeeper as well. So for off license shop, if you are talking about that, yes, shopkeeper, it is a genuine vacancy. It is a skilled role. So you can keep somebody for that. You can keep somebody for a store manager, or let's say a customer service manager. So it all depends on the situation of that off license shop. And I'm going to take the same example and answer your question. So people could also relate. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
So now we are only talking about off license. So yes, we have talked about the rules. Secondly, you need to see what kind of banks you are using. I have seen people are using banks. I won't take the names. I don't want to be prosecuted, but Home Office rule says whatever bank you use, it needs to be authorized by the FCA, that's Financial Conduct Authority, and it needs to be regulated by PRA, Prudential Regulation Authority.
Okay. And it's mentioned on the Home Office website.
It is mentioned on Appendix D for documentation. Appendix A or D, I need to go back and check. And it's specifically mentioned that startup company do need those banks to apply for a sponsor license.
Okay.
Yes.
So if at all they have a bank with those companies, they have to check if they don't know whether those companies have license.
Yeah, if they go on the bank's website, it's just written at the bottom. Yeah, that is very important. They can use fintech banks as well, like Monzo, Revolut, because they are exemplar.
Okay.
They are PRA and FCA regulated and
So they can
authorized.
use that.
Yeah, they can use that. Yeah.
Okay. And then they need to see whether they have good amount of revenue in their bank, right? Because if they have to sponsor a person on skill visa, they have to give a good salary. So if they are not making enough money, they cannot sponsor anyone, right? So of course the Home Office would like to see how much money as well they have in their account. Otherwise, how will they afford a salary of 38,700 minimum?
So let's take example of this off license shop where there is a scenario that they want to hire a student. Okay. So firstly, Home Office wants to see whether the business is trading or not.
Okay.
If your business trading, definitely the money would be going in and money going out.
Yeah.
Let's forget about the numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
So recently I got a call from a client who was not ready to understand that some solicitor or barrister or a company told them that at least you need to have £100,000 in your bank account to apply for a license, which is untrue. And this is for everyone. We have applied for companies who have got £10,000 in their account, £7,000 in their account, because we were able to justify to the Home Office. They need to hire a business development executive. That candidate is currently on PSW, so on a graduate route, and they can hire them for like 2 years on £31,000. Home Office wants to see in the initial phases whether you'll be able to sponsor them or not, whether you'll be able to pay them or not. That is really very important. Do not go by the unawareness phase which is going on in the market about you need to be profitable, you need to have 100K, a million. That's all farce. Okay. So it is important to understand whether you talk to me, whether you talk to any other legal advisor, just talk to them and be aware about the situation. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think I'm learning a lot. From your case studies, any common mistakes can you list down that people are making while applying for the license?
People work with me, don't make mistakes. No, but see, we are all humans.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I have seen a lot of time the home office wants to see the efforts.
Yeah.
Okay. If you, maybe there are people who forget to do the right to work checks on time. They do it after a couple of days of, or maybe they don't have a proper robust HR system. But at the end of the day, you need to justify to the home office that yes, as a sponsor, I'm capable enough to hire people, to pay them on time, to manage a proper HR system, to do the monitoring and stuff like that, and obviously to make sure abide by the home office rules and regulations as well. Because having a sponsor license is like a package. It's not just one specific duty or responsibility. It's a package of all. So you need to understand as a sponsor, you should not firstly listen to people who don't know about what they are saying. Okay. You should only talk to people who have got expertise into it. Let's say if I talk about my company, we have held like hundreds of sponsors in getting a license, saving the license from the, doing through mock audit and thing like that. And the most common mistake I see that people just upload so many documents for the license application. They don't even know what are the mandatory 4 documents for the license. So you need to understand, you need to submit mandatory 4 documents to the home office. Do not submit any documents which does not make any relevance.
And if you don't mind, can you repeat what are those mandatory 4 documents once again?
So let's say there are about 10 to 12 documents listed as a mandatory document, and out of 4 which commonly we use with our client is number 1 would be the PAYE, pay as you earn, registration with HMRC, that's number 1. Number 2 would be registration with VAT if your business have turned over about 90,000 pounds. But even if that's not the case, you can still register for VAT because that is an important element as well of your business. Third most important thing, employees liability insurance. Guys, it is really very important. Don't think that insurance for yourself, but it's for license as well. And fourth, business bank statements, which needs to be authorized by the FCA and regulated by the Prudential Regulation Authority. Fifth, obviously it comes as depends on the industry. If you're from care home, it's CQC ratings. If you're from hospitality, it food hygiene ratings, scores on the doors, things like that. If you have alcohol on your premise, then you need an alcohol license as well. So let's say I applied for an off license shop. People think they don't need a food hygiene rating because they don't cook. No, they have sandwiches, they have wraps. They do need food hygiene ratings. That is very important.
Okay.
Also, apart from this 4 mandatory documents, there are some other registration documents as well. Like if you're a franchisee, you need to provide the franchisee agreement. That is important as well. CT 600. So it's up to you. But I'll suggest they go with the first 4 documents I suggest.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amil, from your knowledge, do you know what are the current timelines now? If somebody submits the application for the license, what are the current timelines now?
The good news is, Sarika, that now they have got unlimited priority slots. So before it was like 10 slots, I remember when I started assisting, then it 30, then 60, then obviously it changed the way you apply for the priority through the system, and now it's unlimited. So if you apply for a priority license, then obviously you get your license within 10 working days. If you apply in the standard way, obviously it takes 2.5 months now. 8 weeks roughly. But one thing, as we discussed previously on skilled worker, do not think that if you apply for a license in priority, you'll get your license within 10 working days. If home office wants to conduct an audit, then automatically you'll get an email that your license raises exceptionally complex situations, and they will conduct a compliance check.
I have another question on when we're talking about, what are the prerequisites or how to become a licensed sponsor. Is there any difference between a startup company and company which are established company? Is there any difference in the process or checks which is done by the home office, or is the process same for both?
See, the process is pretty much the same because startup company obviously have the benefits that they don't have client contracts at the earliest, or they don't have so much of trading, they don't have so much of money in the account. So they can get used to those documents. Obviously they can inform the home office they have applied for PAYE, they are in the process of getting it, but obviously they need to submit the mandatory 4 documents as well if they don't have PAYE and things like that. And one thing I have seen in recent cases, if you're applying as a startup, there are 2 mandatory documentations. First is the employees liability insurance, and second, corporate bank statements.
Okay,
these comes under mandatory documentations, and this comes under the top 4 documents as well. So make sure you abide by these policies.
Okay, all right. So I believe, Amil, I have covered a lot of things from my notes. Is there anything you want to cover with my audience if I have not asked you any relevant question on it? Any tips, what to do, not to do, anything to avoid, other than what we have not covered? I mean,
See, one thing I'll be very honest about, and I told Sarika off camera that this is my favorite topic. I can talk for hours on that. I can even write a book on it. But at the end of the day, if you are applying as a license sponsor, and this is for all the audience who's watching, whether you want to apply for a license, whether you already have a license, it's a big responsibility. Okay, there are so many things comes with that. It is not that, you know, if you go to a legal representative, they'll charge a fees. Yes, we do charge a fees, but it is for the sake of the employees you're hiring. It is for the sake of your own company. It is for the sake of your own goodwill. So at the end of the day, you need to make sure that even if you don't take any legal advice, go through all the home office guidance, because people have become intelligent in terms of, you know, thinking that if they are doing something on their own would be right. It could be. There are people who do not need legal advice, or they do not use our services, but that's completely up to them. We do not encourage that. But at the end of the day, whatever you do, make sure you do it in a right way, in a genuine way, and just follow all the regulations by the home office. That's all I would say.
thanks, Amil. And if you guys need any legal help, you know where to go, right? Email us on ykb@mac25.co.uk. And also, guys, just to let you know and remind you, for my audience only, Amil and the team has opened 1 hour free diary where you can book the slot with the team and ask your relevant questions. Thank you. Thank you, Amil, for coming and sharing again your knowledge on this topic. And thank you guys for watching it.
Thank you so much, Sarika. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.